Good evening, everyone. Welcome to closing comments here for February 26th. Let's jump right into these charts and see what happened in the market today. First up, we got our April live cattle on the board. We did see some downside here across the cattle market today. Both feeders and fats selling off on some above average volume, testing some key levels here in the process. This April live contract did just hit the ground running to the downside today. Price opening up here right around 240 and immediately selling off out of that opening range, driving lower. And once we got some offers coming in below Monday and Tuesday's lows, we really did see that selling pressure start to accelerate, driving down there towards 235.5 at the low of the day. We did see a little bit of a recovery late as this market did finish up here right around 237, back above that 50-day moving average after briefly probing below it. We need to see this live cattle market continue to find support here at this 50-day average. Bulls need to see this market stabilize here and balance out as we head into tomorrow's session. Last trading day of the week, so the bulls need to defend this 50-day moving average. Otherwise, that could spell trouble for them here as we head into next week. Look for those bulls to try and defend this 50-day average line. We should see some support down here into the mid-230s as well to keep this uptrend intact. However, if the bulls aren't able to find any traction here and stop this selling pressure, we really could see this thing start to accelerate to the downside if we get offers down here below 234.5. This is our 20-day low here, and the difference between this market being in an uptrend and a downtrend here. So bulls need to defend 234.5 here as we head into the last trading session of the week. If we get a weak close down here below 234.5, that could signal some more selling pressure to come next week and get this market start to roll over a little bit. So make sure to be defensive here. Wait for this market to kind of stabilize. No need to be stepping in front of this thing. We want to see this market kind of stabilize here and find a little bit of its footing before we commit to any more long positions to take this market higher. Bulls need to defend this line here tomorrow right around 234.5. Look for there to be a battle here, and if we do finish down below 234.5, I encourage everyone to raise cash and start getting defensive as that selling pressure could start to accelerate into next week. Be defensive here, wait for this market to stabilize, and live to trade a bit another day. Next week, wait for this cattle market to try and find its footing here during tomorrow's session. Next up, our April feeders on the board. Big sell-off here on above average volume, signaling the first distribution day we've seen in since this breakdown back here in October. This market did sell off here right off that opening bid. This thing did sell right down here to a low about 355 today before recovering back a little bit, finishing back above that 20-day low. 356.65 here is our current 20-day low. We did probe that and touch that 50-day moving average before bouncing back up there towards 358.80 into the close. The fact that we didn't close down below that 20-day moving average is about the only good sign we got for the bulls here at the moment. We need to make sure that they can defend this 50-day average and that 20-day low here. We do have a little bit of demand here left over from the early part of January down here that we could see a little bit of this market stabilize down here in the mid 350s. But if we do get a close below that 20-day low, that could spell trouble for this market as well. If both feeders and fats start to roll down here below that 50-day moving average, we could see that selling pressure start to increase. Be defensive here at the moment. Wait for this market to stabilize here. No need to be stepping in front of the selling pressure we saw today. We want to see the bulls try and defend these levels here right around the 355 to 356 mark and that 50-day average tomorrow. If this market is able to stabilize and find its footing here, we could see a potential rally next week, but just be cautious here. Close down below these levels will have us getting defensive, and encourage everyone to raise cash in that case, as we could see some more selling pressure start to come into this cattle market. So be careful here around these key levels as we head into tomorrow's session, and we'll come back next week and try and battle it out in week 9. Next up, we got our May corn futures on the board. Continuing with this rally here back through the top end of this range, we did see a probe back up there above 444 and this prior week's high. At the moment, though, we didn't see that strong close above it, but we are starting to see some pressure get put up here on this level, starting to get a little traction above these major moving averages here. We need to clear this 200 and this 444 level to really confirm any more upside. In the case of a weekly close back above these levels, we should see this thing just kind of churn back up here towards the 4.5 mark and get back into this prior range that we spent back here in October, November, and December of last year. So look for this 444 spot to be a pretty key level. Bears need to defend it and try and push this thing back down here to continue with any more downside or keep this current range we're in. But if those bulls are able to drive back above here, look for this thing to kind of chew back up here towards 4.5. Next up, crude oil market with some volatility here today. We did see a nice sell-off down there, briefly probing below 64. Good back and forth action, testing 66.5 once again. Pretty wide range day here, trading in about a $3.10 range. Some of the most volatility we've seen in the last couple of weeks here, and it's just good back and forth action. At the moment, looking like this thing is starting to run out of gas up here around 66.5. Look for those sellers to drive this market back down here to the low 60s. At least 62, 63 should be the target for those bears here, and we should see this crude oil market continue to be range bound. If we do get another pushback here above 66.5 and a close for the week above it, that could signal some upside, but in the meantime, look for this choppy action to continue. Next up, equity markets giving back all that prior day's gains. The S&P selling off here today. Nvidia's earnings having a bad reaction during today's session. Nvidia being down 5.5% today really put a weight on this market, as it is a big piece of the puzzle for each of our indexes here. Nasdaq and the S&P down the most today, giving back all of yesterday's gains. The Dow did see a brief rally here today, but finished back inside that prior day's range. Still trying to hold these major moving averages, but seeing some more selling pressure. Cracks starting to form here in this Dow index here as well. Still seeing a little bit of relative strength over there in those industrial and material names. The finance sector and banking sector is kind of giving things a little bit of a boost here today for the Dow, keeping this thing a little bit propped up a little bit better than those other indexes, but still seeing a little bit of weakness here, and we could see some more selling pressure start to sneak into this market. Mega cap names, all trying to see some upside over the last couple days, but just running out of gas here and losing traction. Look for some more downside to come. This market's still trading inside, both the S&P and the Nasdaq still trading inside this multi-month range we've been in. So until we can clear the bottom end of this or out the top end, expect this thing to continue being choppy. But we're just seeing more signs of weakness here each day that passes. So just be cautious here. Might be a time to start raising a little bit more cash, tighten up those stops, and wait for this market to give us a little bit clearer picture before we commit any more capital to the upside here. In the meantime, look for some more volatility and choppy action in these indexes. That's all we got for this week tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in this week. We will catch you this weekend for our Week 9 Market Watch. Thanks everyone for listening. You have a great weekend.